Welcome to week 2. What an exciting game we had in week 1. The Buffalo Bills somehow, someway came back, defeated the Baltimore Ravens 41-40. Week 2 is no joke, though. This New York Jets team is really good. I am just as nervous for this next game as I was in week 1. Didn't think I'd be saying that, but the Jets looked really good in week 1. They did lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their defense let them down, but that offense looks really good. I think if you're a Jets fan and you're watching this video, you should have a little bit of hope for this season because initially I had the Patriots as maybe that sleeper AFC East team to make the playoffs. It might end up being the Jets. Let's start by looking at this Buffalo Bills offense. Again, 41 points. I don't think we could start anywhere else but this offense. Josh Allen, 394 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, had the rushing touchdowns as well. James Cook, in the run game, was not good at all, though. 44 yards for James Cook. He did have a touchdown. Allen on the ground, 30 yards, and the 2 rushing touchdowns. Ty Johnson, 24. Ray Davis, not that great this game, but we're going to brush past that. Let's get to the receiving because at halftime in that game, I was not feeling our receivers. It wasn't looking good, but all of a sudden the field opened up and Allen was hitting them all over the field. Keon Coleman, how about that? 112 yards and a touchdown. Shakir, 64 yards. Palmer, 61 yards. James Cook had 58 in the air, of course, from that screenplay that busted downfield. And Kincaid had a strong day as well with 48 and a touchdown. We go to the Bills defense. And the Bills' defense was in shambles for a majority of this game. The secondary was just getting blown up by Zay Flowers. Derrick Henry was gashing the Bills' defensive line right up the middle, and none of the secondary could take him down. I think 4 or 5 times he got through that initial wall of protection and just scooted all the way down the field. So that's definitely an area of concern, something the Bills have not improved on from last year to this year. If anything, I think this might have been the worst I've seen it with Derrick Henry against the Bills. He just absolutely owned it whenever he had the ball. Shout out to Ed Oliver, though. He was the one guy on the team that consistently found a way to stop Derrick Henry. Everyone else, he was just bulldozing right through. But Ed Oliver, a couple times, and that big forced fumble as well. Ed Oliver, one of the most important pieces of this game that's going to be forgotten because what a crazy game it was. But Ed Oliver looked great. The secondary, like I said, did not look all that great. And how about Matt Prater? I mean, Tyler Bass, I don't know when he's coming back, but if Matt Prater continues to have moments like this, I think he might end up being the kicker for the entire year. Now let's get into the Jets game that occurred last week. The Jets are 0-1. The entire AFC East, besides the Bills, is 0-1, by the way. The Jets, 34-32, they lost. They had this game for a majority of it. The Steelers kept fighting back. Old friend Aaron Rodgers took it to him. Justin Fields, though, looked really good. So, again, if you're a Jets fan watching this video, do not give up on this team. I've always admired the Jets offense. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, you have a really good core, and you just needed somebody to sling them the ball and to kind of run that offense. Aaron Rodgers did not do a good job of that last season. Justin Fields, I really like the acquisition of Justin Fields, and so far it looks pretty good. Again, only week 1 has been played, so I can't really make a large judgment there. But again, 218 in the air and a touchdown. Breece Hall, as I just mentioned, 107 yards on the ground. Justin Fields had 2 rushing touchdowns, though, so that's something to highlight as well. So 3 total for him. Allen, their other running back, had a touchdown as well, only 9 yards on the ground. Garrett Wilson, 95 in the air and a touchdown. Hall had 38 in the air. Tyler Johnson, 31 in the air. So again, this receiving core, besides Garrett Wilson, is not the greatest in the NFL, but Garrett Wilson is a heck of a player. That last play of the game where he got blown up by Jalen Ramsey, though, I know Jets fans are going to be mad about that. The defense is a very solid group of defenders as well. The Williams on defense, I guess I should note, both Quincy and the other Williams on this defense. There's a lot of them. Both had a sack on their ledger as well. The Jets, it's a team that I think it's going to be a close game, right? We're in MetLife next week. We got Tony Romo and Jim Nantz on the call. These divisional games are always tough. And looking at this one, the Jets are going to be furious. They're going to want that win. They're going to want to get on the board after a very disappointing loss, although no one really expected them to win. But the way that game was going, you kind of anticipated the win as the game progressed. And to come out with a loss in that one really stings. Meanwhile, on the Buffalo side of things, it could not be more opposite. The Bills are potentially at the highest they'll be all season after that comeback win. Now you have to find a way to, level yourself out. As Josh Allen and offensive coordinator Joe Brady always say, 1-0, you have to have that mentality. It's a long season. So you cannot just sit there and, we beat the Ravens. That's what a moment. You can't dwell on it. You got to move past it, and you got to beat the Jets, because the Jets are a very respectful team in the NFL, and I don't mean their personalities. I mean you have to take the Jets seriously, and I didn't think it was going to be like that. If you look at my picks video from week 1, I had this game being a blowout. I thought the Steelers were going to, Aaron Rodgers was going to be amped up and ready to go. And the Jets, they almost got this win, and the Jets offense looks to be the real deal. If Justin Fields can continue to make smart decisions, continue to stay poised in that pocket. A couple times in that game, Justin Fields, where he usually would have taken off and just, slid down for a couple yards, he stayed upright. He stayed looking down the field. He was able to find his receivers. And that's one of the biggest things. We flip back to the Bills. The Bills offensive line did a great job last week against the Ravens. But that's something Josh Allen does so well. He'll bounce around in the pocket. He'll roll out, and he always looks to throw the ball first. And the receivers were not getting open for him in the first half. But when they do, and Josh Allen can have, 10, 12 seconds in the pocket, roll out, he's going to find someone. He's going to find the arm angle, whether it's underhand, sidearm, or overhand. He's going to find a way to get the ball to the receiver coming back to him down the field. And I saw that in Justin Fields last week against the Steelers. So if you're a Jets fan, I'll continue to say this video. You got to be a little bit excited, even though you started out 0-1, and you have a legitimate chance to make the playoffs this year. It is no question that the Bills have dominated the Jets in recent times. They've won their last 4 out of the 5 games they've played against the Jets. So if you're a Bills fan, you're used to beating the Jets. But again, I'll continue to say this Jets team is better than in years prior, and we really have to keep an eye on this game, especially after that emotional roller coaster of a game in Week 1. We got to talk about Aaron Glenn, the new head coach of the Jets. Seems to be exactly what they needed at MetLife with this Jets team. Again, there were some rumors that he was, having some Bible studies with the team and some other stuff. And it's a very connected group. And that's something that the Jets really haven't had in the last decade. The team has kind of clashed. They haven't been a good team. So, of course, winning solves all. And when you're not winning, you tend to go your separate ways. But Aaron Glenn has been able to form a culture in New York that they haven't seen in quite some time. Again, Robert Saleh was their old coach, and before that, just, we could go back in their history, and there hasn't really been a true great head coach for the Jets until, I hate to say it, but Rex Ryan, maybe, I don't know. We look at Todd Bowles, too, but the Jets have really been kind of in this no man's land for a while, and they really did themselves a disservice getting Aaron Rodgers last year and then Devontae Adams, and put themselves in a bad situation that really didn't look like it was going to work out, and it didn't. But they did get lucky with Justin Fields. I think that was a great acquisition, and I'm very excited to see what he can do throughout the course of the season. And if the Jets can, they looked like it after Week 1. The Dolphins looked like the clear number 4 after Week 1. I know it's just 1 week, but this AFC East, of course, one team's going to make the playoffs, potentially 2. The real decision now, I think the Bills have the number 1 spot pretty much locked. From talent-wise, of course, things could change. We could have injuries, but right now it looks like the Bills number 1. It's going to be between the Patriots and the Jets at that number 2 spot. Who is going to slip into that wild card position if they do make it? I do have 2 teams from the AFC East making the playoffs, though, this year. This game will be a Sunday 1 o'clock game. Bills fans rejoice. We do not have to stay up late to watch the Bills. I know it was something that we always kind of wished for, the primetime slot, and now all of a sudden it does feel good to have the Sunday 1 o'clock game back. Sunday 1 o'clock, Bills are favored by 7 right now. And now let's see what our BSC panel has to say about this divisional matchup in Week 2.
Last play before the 2-minute warning. Rodgers buys time, airs it out. Mike Williams fell down, and it is picked by Tyron Johnson.